All right, now look, today I'm finna show y'all how to make a whole nasty pot of chicken and dumplings, honey, so let's get right on into it. You're gonna need 1 cup of minced sweet onion, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, self-rising flour, 2 extra large carrots, 4 to 5 stalks of celery, 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Do not use breast, use thighs. 5 cups of chicken stock or broth, up to you. Poultry seasoning, parsley flakes, black peppercorn, garlic powder and onion powder, herbs de Provence, smoked paprika, coarse kosher salt, the Knorr chicken bouillon, half and half, and 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter plus some additional. Don't worry about those fresh herbs. We didn't even end up using them. You see that? You see that? You see that? Don't ask me for the damn ingredient list. Now let's get on right into it. Now I'm going to go on ahead and put up the measurements for the exact seasonings that I put on this chicken. First things first, I know y'all probably thinking, damn, it's a lot of ingredients. But let me just say this. If you've been rocking with me for a while, y'all should have all these damn ingredients in your pantry by now, okay? Next, I need y'all to know, when I took the first bite of this, I thought to myself, my God, this is what love is. Follow my directions to a T, you guys. I have never been more proud of a damn dish in my life. Get this chicken marinated, put it in the fridge. Now let's go on ahead and work on prepping the veggies. Now, you guys know in most cases, I actually like for my vegetables to be chopped down pretty small, but for something like chicken and dumplings, you actually want it to be hearty, so I actually don't break them down that small. But that's really a matter of preference, so you really can do whatever you would like. I'm going to cut them down so that they're nice big chunks. So first I just cut it in half like so. I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm probably going to cut them all to be roughly about this size here. So I'm going to do that to all of them, and then we'll be back. I'm going to give the exact same treatment here to the celery. I'm going to give them a rough chop. I'm not going to cut them down any smaller than this. So we're going to do the exact same to the celery as we did to the carrots. I'm also now going to go in and mince down my garlic. We don't have to worry about cutting my onions today because I had leftover onions from when I made my broccoli and cheddar recipe. And if you guys have not seen my broccoli and cheddar recipe, I would definitely suggest you check that out. All right, you guys, now that we have all of our veggies prepped, we have our celery, our onion, our carrots, our garlic. We have our 5 cups of our chicken stock ready to go. So now let's go on ahead and let's start to sear off those beautiful chicken thighs that have been marinating. Once again, you do not have to fuss or stress yourself out about letting those marinate for a long time. There's no need. I just like to do that first so that it has a little bit of time for that seasoning to kind of nestle to that meat. I'm going to go in with some neutral oil. As always, I use avocado oil, so I'm going to be going in with about 2 tablespoons worth. And one of the best things about this recipe, this is a 1-pot recipe. There's no need to dirty up a whole bunch of dishes. The only other dish that you're going to have to make in order, the only other dish that you'll have to dirty up in order to make this will be the bowl we're going to use to make the dumplings. But beyond that, everything is going to be in this 1 pot. Try not to overcrowd this pan because we want to get some beautiful searing on these chicken thighs. So we're going to do this in sections. And let me just also say this. I'm always going to choose a chicken thigh anytime I'm making a chicken-based soup. It is very rare you will ever see me choose chicken breast because chicken thighs are going to be juicy no matter what. And people think that, oh, well, because it's going to be in a broth, that means it's going to stay moist. No, you can dry out chicken breast. Hell, you can really dry out any chicken, but you have to work real hard to dry out a chicken thigh. So I'm always going to choose a boneless, skinless chicken thigh. And as you guys saw, I didn't trim off any of that fat. I'm letting the fat stay on there. Again, that's going to contribute to making sure that the chicken stays nice and juicy. Alrighty, this chicken has been cooking for roughly about 2 to 3 minutes on one side. And also, just to let you guys know, this is not one of those situations where we are partially cooking. You want to fully cook these chicken thighs, okay? So I'm going to repeat that process to all of the chicken. I'm going to remove this chicken once it's fully cooked and set it to the side. My God, on today, just look at the seasoning coming through. We're building flavor. Alrighty, my chicken is fully cooked. I'm now going to remove this, sit this over to the side, and repeat the process for the rest of the chicken. And that right there is all of our cooked chicken. So now we can go on ahead and sit that to the side. Alrighty, I've gone on ahead and removed a majority of the oil, leaving, I would say, about 1.5 tablespoons behind. But now we're going to start to build even more flavor by adding in our unsalted butter and allowing that to melt down. And don't worry, all of this stuff you see right here is all flavor, and it's all going to come out when the moisture is drawn out of the vegetables. And speaking of the veggies, let's go ahead and add in our onion. Let's add in the carrots and the celery. Give all of that a good mix. At this stage, do not add any more salt yet. And also make sure that your heat is on low. And see how I told you all that stuff at the bottom would come right up? As the moisture comes out of the veggies, all that's gonna come out. And what's gonna happen is that is gonna create even more flavor to the overall dish. Also, I would highly, suggest you guys invest in a nice Dutch oven. I got this right off of Amazon. It was not expensive. I've had it for years. Y'all have seen many videos made with this. I think I paid less than $100 for this, to be quite frank. So just letting you know. Alrighty, I've allowed these to sweat out for roughly about 3 to 4 minutes. So now I'm gonna go on ahead and add in all of that garlic and give that a mix as well. At this point, I've started to gradually add up the heat, but it's still not really above a 5, to be quite frank, at this stage. Alrighty, so next we're gonna go in and we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of flour. We're gonna allow that to cook off for roughly 1 to 2 minutes to cook off that raw flour taste. Now you might be thinking, TY, that's not enough flour, but remember, you are going to be adding in dumplings to this, so the pot itself will naturally thicken from all of those dumplings as well. We can now go ahead and start to gradually add in our 5 cups of broth. I like to add in just a little bit at the beginning so that I can make sure that everything becomes nice and smooth from the jump so that nothing lumps up, and then I'll go on ahead and add in the rest. And go on ahead and add in the rest of that chicken broth. We're going to now allow this to come up to a simmer. And while we're waiting for that pot to come up to a simmer, we can go on ahead and begin to make our dumplings. We're going to add in 2.5 cups of self-rising flour. We're now also going to add in our 5 tablespoons of cold butter. Now, either with a pastry knife or you can just use a fork, you want to go in and you want to break this up into the flour completely. This process can take a little time, so don't rush it, honey. But just break it on up in there. And as you can see, now the butter has been nicely incorporated into the flour. I'm going to add in a little less than a teaspoon of coarse kosher salt. Give that a mix. 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. Give that a mix. Make sure your hands are nice and clean, honey. And I'm going to start with 1 cup of half and half to this. I may use the whole cup, I might not. I'm gonna let you know right now. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. Start it in the center and just mix your way in. You do not want this to be too loose. That is the reason why I like to always just gradually go in and just add it in. And I will show you guys what the consistency of the dumplings are supposed to be. The key to making good dumplings, whether it is savory or sweet, is to make sure that you're not overworking it. You do not want to activate too much of the gluten. And you also want to make sure that everything stays nice and cold. So you want to move relatively quick with this process. I can tell right now that I'm only going to need the 1 cup. So now I'm going to just go in really quick, make sure that everything is fully incorporated, and then stop mixing. Now, if you want, you can absolutely chop up your chicken if you would like. I'm not going to do that because I don't need to. The way that this is going to cook and as tender as this meat is, all of this is going to completely fall apart. So let's go on ahead and reintroduce our chicken back to the pot now that that has coming up to a simmer. And we're going to place the top on that while we start to roll up our dumpling balls. This is what you want your dumplings to look like. You don't want it to be too loose, but you also don't want it to be too dry. So now what I'm going to do is I like to take them out, roll them up into little tiny balls, and then give it a light dusting of flour and then go from there. Alrighty, so I have a baking tray here, and I'm literally just going to go in with just a light dusting of flour right across the bottom, and you're going to see exactly why I'm doing this in a few moments. Alrighty, so let's go on ahead and make our dough. I like to take about that much. I do not like my dumplings to be too big, and then I literally just drop it directly onto the flour surface that you guys saw on the tray. I let it roll around a little bit so that my hands don't get too messy, and then I give it a light roll around like so. And that is how I make my dumplings. I'm going to repeat this process for all of them, and it's going to keep my hands nice and clean the entire time. And if you're wondering how do I gauge how many dumplings to make, I always like to say that there should be at least 3 to 4 dumplings per serving bowl. So really you can just base how many you're going to make based upon how many people are coming to your house for dinner during the holiday time.
So that's kind of how I do it, which is the reason why I make as many as I do. I'm really just only making this much so that I can show y'all when I make big batches. But, you know, if it was just me, I would not be making as much as I am today. But that's how I like to base it. 3 to 4 dumplings per serving bowl.
Alrighty, and so for the sake of today's video, I'm only going to make up 12 dumplings, but as you guys can see, there is enough mixture here to probably get you anywhere between 20 to 25 dumplings all together. You want to make sure that they're on the smaller side once again, because remember, they are going to expand, and not only that, you want to make sure that they cook fully through. Okay, so this has been simmering now for about 12 or 13 minutes while I was getting my dumplings made, and I don't know about you, but do you see the flavor inside of this pot? There is so much flavor inside of this pot, and it's still not even done yet. And remember how I told you didn't need to go in and worry about shredding up the chicken, because as I was moving the chicken around, honey, it just falls right apart. And again, this is chicken and dumplings, so you want it to be nice and hearty. It doesn't need to be shredded up like chicken noodle soup. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and we're going to start to drop in our dumplings. Now you want to make sure that you are leaving space in between them. Do not mix them around. Just place them in, and then we're going to put the lid on this and allow this to go for about another 10, 15 minutes or so. Remember, these are going to expand, so, just be mindful of how many, you're trying to cram into the pot, because again, they're going to expand. My God, on today. Baby, what we're doing right here, this is called good eating. Put the lid on it. Make sure that the temp is not up too high. All right, y'all, so 10 minutes have gone by, so let's open this bad boy up. My God, on today. Now, you tell me that don't damn near look like perfection. And we still ain't done, my babies. So now that I know my dumplings are good to go, I'm going to go on ahead and add in 2/3 cup of the half and half and gently give the pot a mix. You can also go in with heavy whipping cream. That's completely fine. And just go in and just mix it from the bottom up. You ain't got to be too harsh. You ain't got to be too harsh. My God. My God. My God. Are y'all looking at what I'm looking at? Do y'all do see what I see, right? Y'all don't see this? Y'all don't see how these dumplings look? Just give it a mix. Look at the chicken. Look at the vegetables. My God. My God. And that, my loves, is how I make my chicken and dumplings. My God, on today. People don't cook like this no more. They just simply don't. Sometimes you can't cut corners. Shall we go in for a taste test? My God. All right, y'all, let's go in for a taste test. This bastard is hot as hell because I literally just took it out, but y'all see what it looked like, right? Let me show y'all what the inside of the dumplings look like so y'all understand that they are fully cooked through. The dumplings are fully cooked, not doughy whatsoever. Oh my God, okay, I'm so excited. Okay. The perfect bite, dumpling, chicken. All right, here we go. This is almost ignorant. This is almost ignorant. Make this if you want to find you a man or woman. This ain't no...
I have nothing to say. This is perfection. I'm so sorry. This is not even a humble brag at this point. Make it.